Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the movie DVD review of the film Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, which was released I think it was April or March, or I don't know, can't remember which month exactly. It's hard to keep track of all the stuff that keeps coming out, but anyway, it's out a few months ago. I didn't go and see it at the cinema. I was going to, but just again, like most things, just didn't get round to seeing it, and then I just had to wait for the DVD to see it. And it's the latest instalment in the Godzilla Kong uh, MonsterVerse franchise. You know, they started doing the more newer King Kong films and the more newer Godzilla films, and then obviously they started doing the combined uh, Godzilla vs Kong was previous film, and then I do Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, which is the next chapter. I'm not sure if there's going to be another one. I'm guessing there will be, but I mean, after Godzilla and Kong, I didn't think there was going to be another one that's so soon, but I guess there was. But and yeah, so I've seen it once so far, and here is what I thought. So yeah, it's the let's talk about the cast. I mean, the cast is quite fairly, a lot of them quite a young cast. I think some of them was in the previous uh, Kong Godzilla film. Not too familiar with some of them. Rebecca Hall, I think she's been in a couple of films. Brian Tyree Henry, not too familiar. Dan Stevens, I think he might have been in something, I'm not too sure. Kayla Hottie, don't really know her. Now, Alex Ferns, he's actually, I do know him because he's a British or Scottish actor, and he's been in, first knew about him in the EastEnders years ago. British actor, played a character called Trevor in EastEnders years ago. And I spotted that he was in this, so I've not seen him for years since he'd been in EastEnders. And I spotted him in this and thought, oh, that's the guy that plays Trevor from EastEnders. So, yeah, he's in that. If not many people knew about that, Trevor from EastEnders is in this film, believe it or not, from EastEnders. And yeah, so he's the only one really I'm familiar with. As I said, a few of the other characters been in, I think, the other previous film, but yeah, pretty much all like sort of young characters. And he's probably the most distinctive one, Trevor from EastEnders. But anyway, yeah, now the sort of gist of it is it's pretty much about, to be honest, I don't even know really why Godzilla's in this really. He's sort of just like side cast. It's mainly, the main story is about actually sort of King Kong, really. It's finding sort of his, or sort of background, and trying to find his sort of family, sort of Hollow Earth, his journey, and discovering about him and characters from his past or whatever, or his land, and find out characters and family or whatever. So it's mainly a story revolving around Kong, really. Godzilla is sort of just in it. It's a place sort of sidekick, really. It's not really about Kong. Yeah, so that is mainly just a story, just mainly about King Kong, because it's just basically just a sidekick, really. Um, yeah, it's sort of. I mean, I wasn't really into this, to be honest, as much. I was into the Godzilla Kong because it was the first time, obviously, they did a film where it's Godzilla Kong, and I'm sort of into it. And it sort of turned out quite well. This I wasn't really so much. Maybe I just wasn't ready for another Godzilla Kong. I just didn't feel there was need for another one. But obviously they did feel. And yeah, I just wasn't into it as much. I think at the beginning, yeah, I just find it quite difficult to get into. I was thinking, oh god, not another Godzilla Kong where I just didn't feel it was needed. I just felt, oh god, you know, do we really need this? And trying to see, what else they could do that they haven't done differently already. And yeah, I just find it really hard to get into. And then I started getting into it and started taking an interest, and thought when it was about Kong, knowing about trying to find his family back, and I thought to myself, well, this could be interesting, and trying to get interested in it and finding, oh, this might be interesting, and I thought, yeah, maybe this could be cool and fun, and then started to get into it. And sort of like the beginning, you know, it sort of progressed, in the story. And I thought, yeah, it started to get a bit cool. But the only thing is, it sort of felt like, because usually you only see King Kong as sort of like the main sort of gorilla. There was other gorillas that was in it, and obviously one of them was like the evil, sort of almost the evil version of Kong. I just felt it was because it was loads. It ended up being loads of apes, and then I thought it sort of was leaning towards Planet of the Apes. I just get the vibe, and I thought this has gone from being just King Kong for like loads of apes, and I thought this is too much like Planet of the Apes, and there was already a Planet of the Apes film come out as well, and I thought it was just too, that part in particular was just too same. And I thought, oh, it's just gone too Planet of the Apey, I guess, with too many sort of. And I thought, yeah, I never thought there was one King Kong. I didn't think there was another gorilla as big as him. But obviously, it turns out there was. And actually, yeah, as I said, it did feel like sort of Planet of the Apes, but it did make sense what I know that was trying to do, an evil sort of version of it. But it just felt to me too Planet of the Apey. I got vibes from, yeah, it just seemed like that, rather than, but anyway, that's how I felt towards it, and I could see what they were doing with it, sort of like an evil version of Kong, and it started to get a bit more interesting. And sort of after the middle was okay here and there, but then Godzilla wasn't really in it much, to be honest. And then sort of Godzilla came at the end when there was like a big battle scene, and yeah, it was all right. But to be honest, Godzilla didn't look great in it. I think Godzilla looked better in his films on his own, and yeah, I think that's when Godzilla looks at his best. I don't think you see the best of Godzilla in this. It's mainly about Kong. Godzilla not really in it. Um, yeah, and it just, yeah, as I said, King Kong it's mainly about him. Godzilla's just in it, sort of sidekicky. And he just comes at the end, and then sort of story comes full circle, and then it does sort of get interesting. You start to find out what it is, the gist of it is about, and then it sort of comes full circle at the end, a big massive fight scene, which you would expect from something like this, and this big fight scene is quite, it's quite a big finish, to be fair, and it looks quite good, and yeah. I think overall it was sort of up and down. I think bits that I like was it's not too long. It's only I think it works out about an hour and 40, an hour and 45 minutes, sort of around that. So not too long. So that I like. That's a positive. Fighting is pretty good as usual. There's no issue really with the fight scenes. Um, what else is good about it? Yeah, I mean visually looks pretty good. Um, what else was cool? I mean, some of the characters were cool, like when King Kong was fighting like uh, different whatever monsters they were called, like sea monsters. That looked pretty cool. The story was fairly interesting. I'd say we like trying to find out about King Kong, which was interesting. Didn't really know much about the backstory of King Kong, so that was quite interesting. I think let's look at the negatives. Godzilla not being in as much, yeah, it was downside because I thought it was supposed to be half and half, but then it turned out to be more Kong, and then Godzilla was still in it as like sidekick, so that's disappointing. And didn't look. I don't think he looked at his best this in this. Although at the end he came on quite strong with his power, and there was brief moments, but not as much, I don't think. So actually, I felt it probably should have just been Kong on his own, to be honest. But it is Kong it is Kong's Godzilla, multiverse. But I don't know. That's how I felt. negatives, cast is quite weak, although, I mean, it's cool to see Trevor, you know. I'm from England and know a lot about Trevor, so, you know, it was cool to see him after all these years. So that's cool, but the other cast quite weak. Yeah, I felt at the middle, at the beginning, just didn't feel I was much into it as much as the previous one. Uh, what else was a negative? I mean, I could say the music was a bit lousy, but you know, that's just my taste. I prefer a lot more rock stuff, but that's not really something that's a problem. Uh, yeah, I mean, I say Godzilla. I can't think of many negatives. Maybe could have been better in some places, and Godzilla could have been in it more and half. That's all more or less mainly about Kong. Timing, as I said, the time was okay. Visually, it looked quite good. The fight scenes were all cool. So yeah, I mean, fairly quite cool. Just to say, the middle, I don't think was that great. The middle was alright and just sort of getting more into the story, which was quite interesting. And the fight scene at the end, quite spectacular. So I guess overall, probably say uh, maybe probably 7, I guess, out of 10. With just a few things could have been better, but I think overall quite int. I go from not really being into it to interesting to fun at times and quite cool at the end, and then moments where it is quite cool, and the little monkey that's in it, or little baby gorilla, whatever he is quite cute. So yeah, I think overall probably not as good as Kong versus Godzilla, first one. Good, but could have been better in places, so not perfect. Overall fun, enjoyable, and definitely recommend it. So that's going to be my review on that, guys. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys next video. Take care, bye for now. See you soon. Thanks for watching.